But I'm sitting here thinking to myself, what has gone down, what has been said, or what is being done to make you lose? Like, okay, Brown wasn't a returner. He wasn't a starter here last year. So, okay, comes in, goes out, whatever. I guess he just wanted to see what it was like elsewhere and then found out the grass wasn't always greener. Blase, blase, blase. The Law Boys, Amari Campbell, those are continuity pieces. Those are pieces that can help bridge this gap from Mac Brown to you.
Those are building
And
block pieces.
they just up and left. They just up and said, all right, Brett, cool. There was no indication that they would have entered the transfer portal. Granted, I don't think anybody is out there openly making as big of a scene as Nico and Maliava because these kids know how to move in silence like lasagna, which I respect. But it just feels weird because they all did it almost at the same damn time.
Right. And
Excuse my
my
language.
thing is, and like my opinion on the whole situation is it's a mixture of some guys and I'll say, well, like Ryan Brown might have saw the writing on the wall because Ryan Brown seems like it figured out it's a better situation for him to go back to Purdue because there's a better chance of him being the starting quarterback at Purdue than it is here. Then with the other guys, I think those are a mixture of culture change because they probably came in buying into a particular kind of culture. Now that culture is not there. So now they're going somewhere else to try to find something similar because you're not going to get that with Bill. You're not going to get the same Mac Brown kind of atmosphere out of Bill where you can find another quarterback or another coach or another staff that may give you a better feel. Because I feel like
Which is
I feel like that's what happened with Bo Atkinson. I feel like that's what happened with Amari Campbell. Because defensively, if you want to coach that's going to build you defensively, then yeah, like Bill Belichick is where you want to be at.
That's the thing. And as you say that, you're like, okay, you're not getting the same atmosphere as Mac Brown and Bill Belichick. When I look at them, I honestly picture them being from the same cloth. I picture them being the same style of a coach. I picture them being as very similar, and you're going to get a similar atmosphere now. Granted, Bill's probably a lot more no nonsense than Matt Brown was. That could be it. Like, you might not like how strict Bill is being as compared to Mac Brown would have been like, man, he let us seniors and us juniors a little bit loose, whereas Bill's trying to hold us tight and tight knit in every aspect of the game, treating us like we freshmen again. And I think that might be the deal because Bill's trying to establish order and discipline and everything in a culture, but he's also trying to prepare you to be in a, like his thing said, to practice like a pro, because he wants you to be able to get to that next level and conduct yourself like a pro. That way, it ain't even no shocker when you get there and you're sitting there like, all right, we got meetings, we got OTAs, we got this going on, and I just got to fill my time with my personal trainer for X, Y, and Z. So I think that's what happened.
But now that also leads into another question that I actually came across not too long ago. Is Bill and the organization being too frugal when it comes to the transfer portal, or are they just being conscious with how they spend their money in the transfer portal? Because clearly, because what has already been shown is they have money. They have a good bit of money that they could spend on these players, but it's like, are they being too tight with their money and not bringing the talent that they know they can get in because they don't want to spend the money? Or is it like, okay, yeah, I know we do have the funds, but why not be, since it's our first year in, let's not go spending all willy-nilly on
Honestly,
trying to make an impact, but when we can instead use that money, roll this money over, and focus on the upcoming guys and trying to keep guys here.
okay, so the way I'm gonna answer that is I don't think it's either, in the sense of I don't think they're being too frugal, but I also don't think they're being cautious. I think their approach is we're not going to try and spend money and just buy a player to come in here and win immediately. If you're coming here because you know what we got going on. Now, granted, in the new NIL era, you're gonna have to go out and buy players every now and again. That's just the nature of the game. That's the way it's gonna be. But I think the deal is going to be that when you come here, you are probably not going to get as big of an NIL deal as you would going somewhere else because that's not Bill's nature. Bill is like, yeah, you're going to get your little check, but we come here to work. We come here to grind. If you're coming here trying to get the most money, you're not getting it here. Now, you're not going to leave here with nothing because we're obviously in a new landscape and can't do that, or else we're going to end up with nobody. But you're not going to get the deep bag that you're expecting. For example, Nico. Nico wasn't going to get a $4 million deal coming to North Carolina. Bill was not doing that.
Not after one starting season, no.
Yeah, Bill was not doing that. Bill maybe would have matched what Tennessee gave him. But he probably would have to take a little check because he's like, listen, Nico, you're going to lose some money, but what I'm going to give you in the knowledge and the preparation and the work and the ethic to get to the next level is what's going to get you paid. You want to get paid now. I'm trying to get you paid the real money where it ain't just $2 million deals. I'm trying to get you 4. I'm trying to get you 40 mil, 35 mil, 50 mil, fully guaranteed type joints. That's what I think Bill's going to be on. So I would say North Carolina, they ain't being too frugal, but they aren't being cautious. They're more so setting the foundation of like, yeah, you can get a little NIL deal here, but you ain't going to get the most money here. We in the middle of the road. We're going to pay you a little bit. We're going to pay you your dues, but we also want people who want to be here, who want to work, and who know what it takes to be a part of this program. If you ain't with it, then by golly, you're gone. Point blank.
And to talk on that point is, I think with that, I don't think it's more like Bill's not willing to spend the money. I think it's more like Bill isn't the one that's focusing on the money. Bill's like, no, we got somebody else that handles all this NIL stuff. Like, I'm not about to deal with all this. I'm here to make football players, and I'm here to make professional athletes. There's a whole nother group of people that's handling all the NIL negotiations. I'm not a part of that. If you want to talk to somebody about NIL and negotiations, you can talk to them. But if you want to talk about wanting to be a part of the team, then you can come talk to me. Because I think when it comes down to the major situation, it's like you have some of these Power 4 conference teams that are willing to go out and spend $15-20 million in NIL to bring guys in.
UNLV.
Yeah, UNLV for sure. And I think what's going on Bill's end is I think there's a point to be proved. And I think that's what's going on. I think he's trying to prove a point of, I don't need to spend millions upon millions upon millions of dollars to create a good team.
Yo.
to make a playoff worthy team, I don't need to spend millions of dollars. He did this in New England. You didn't have a whole lot of guys who were making big buku bucks outside of maybe Tom Brady or like these are the big major pieces. You got
paid after you left Bill. Matt Castle.
Exactly. You got paid after you left Bill. You had a whole bunch of 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th round guys winning Super Bowl.
Here's the thing: even the coaches get paid after they leave Bill. Josh McDaniels, that man has failed at being a head coach multiple times, but continues to get head coach opportunities. Like, I don't care what anybody says.
But I said, but continues to get opportunities.
But when it comes to Bill, I have to say this.
That's what I'm talking about. That's why he's MVP. That's why he's the GOAT. The GOAT.
When it comes to
I ain't gonna lie, I wasn't prepared for that.
I told you. You was talking about my soundbite game. So I had to step it up this week. I'm sick tired of it. Sick tired of it, man.